again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of RVBusiness Capitol Talk, sponsored by Excel. I'm Rick Kessler from RV Business. With me, as always, Sherman Goldenberg from RV Business. And joining us today is Heather Leach. Heather, of course, is the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania RV and Campground Association, PRVCA. And of course, PRVCA is the host organization for America's largest RV show, which we in the industry most commonly call the Hershey Show. Heather, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you again. How have you been?
Good. Everything's going real well. Just gearing up for September.
You got a little bit of a show coming up, huh? That's the word on the street.
So they say, yeah. Yeah, we're looking, the show starts September 11th for the industry, opens to consumers on the 13th. And it looks like it's going to be a good one.
It's always at the Giant Center, which is in Hershey, Pennsylvania, of course. Easily one of the marquee events, not only for the trade industry, for us industry folks, but for the consumers as well. Barring another hurricane like a few years ago, I think you're probably expecting another pretty good crowd this year.
Yeah, our pre-ticket sales have been pretty good. We're right on par with where we were last year around this time. Now, of course, they don't really increase until like the week before the show. But yeah, we're looking pretty good.
It's as the years go by, in the show realm, Hershey show big nationally for the industry. Is that how are things looking for this year, in particular in the detail area, which is your world?
Oh, I mean, as far as the details of the show?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, everything seems to be lining up all right. We actually got some new manufacturers in the show this year, which is always great to see. We just got Brinkley in this past week, so we're excited about that. And Cortez Campers was the other one that joined us this year. But yeah, really, everything seems like, I even hate to say it, like everything seems to be going all right,
Knock on wood.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
If as I walk through there, and I will walk through there more than likely, is it going to look like it has in previous years? Is there any structural changes in the layout or anything else?
No, not really. The format's pretty much the same. We are sold out of our booth vendor space. We have almost 200 booth vendors coming to the show and some new ones lined up there as well. Our manufacturer space is sold out. We weren't really sure what the year was going to hold, but everyone came back, and if everyone wanted more space, which is always kind of hard to accommodate. But yeah, we'll have our golf cart taxis again to kind of shuttle people around the show. We have our education lineup, which is every day, every hour, in like 4 different rooms. And then we, of course, in our industry days, we have our 2 education days. So we have a lot of technician training going on during that time. We have also on our industry days, again, we always invite some of the technical schools to come out, and so like the younger kids can come out and kind of see what the RV industry is all about. So I know we have at least one right now lined up. Summer is always kind of a hard time to get them pinned down for anything. So we'll probably have some of them coming back as well, which is kind of nice, and it kind of goes with our association's mission of education. So it's kind of nice to get some groups in there while they're still in high school to kind of see what the different offerings are. Yeah.
So
go ahead, sure.
No, you go ahead.
Just what's your sense? Why has the Hershey show become such a popular event for consumers? And you're not just drawn from Pennsylvania in the immediate area, but they're flying in from everywhere.
I know it is kind of crazy. Like I love hearing the stories like that we get from our information booth, and really from our taxi drivers, kind of hear a lot of where people are coming from. And we've had people from California and Alaska and all over like Europe that I always find very interesting. I think that part of the draw was, just having there's no one place where you can see this many manufacturers at one spot. It's always, I mean, like everybody knows, it's not like a car dealership where you drive down the street and you see them all in one, in one row. Like this is, you have to travel some to see this many different RVs and different brands. So I think that's a big draw. And, I think we've done a good job over the years of kind of marketing it to the consumer so that they know what to expect. And I always think it's amazing how people are like, well, we come every year. And I'm like, oh, and we've reserved our campsite before we leave for the year. We have it for the next year. So, I mean, there's something with that RV community that they really seem to be drawn to it. So we love that.
I know, and a lot of the OEMs use the Hershey show as the public debut for a lot of their new model year introductions. I just returned from Airstream, and once again, they're going to have some very nice surprises for people to see if they come out to the Airstream display.
And I'm sure they will. Who doesn't want to look at an Airstream? But yeah, we love that. It's a great way for them to kind of kick off some of their new models and really get feedback on what consumers like to see. So yeah, I think that's great that they use it in that way.
Not to be unduly optimistic, one can't help but think that strong attendance at Hershey is a powerful indicator for the road ahead for the industry.
Oh yeah, I think they always kind of use it as like a bellwether to see how the industry's doing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I look to see how Tampa does, because I'm always hoping they have a I'm always hoping they have a good show, so
Yep.
so we kind of, I think we're definitely, we watch each other just in case we need to, make any changes as to what's coming. And I know they had a great year too. So that's always good to hear when we're setting up everything for our show.
That's really, when you boil it all down, that's the two U.S. shows at this point.
Yeah.
Of the strongest two U.S. Consumer shows.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You hear in the years. Rick, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to guess and be wrong. So Heather, what's the overview? How many typically how many units, what kind of attendance, how many dealers? You mentioned the suppliers is sold out.
Yep. There's usually, we usually have about 1,500 units. I didn't do the final count. People are still putting in their demo requests. So we always include that in our total count. But so it's usually around 1,500. This year it's lining up to be that as well. We have like 35 manufacturers, and there's usually around 40 or so dealers that participate. Yeah, and and this year's great. I'm glad we got a couple of new manufacturers in there, because that always helps make sure things stay fresh.
What's really nice too is you move those 1,500 units in and out with zero problems. Everybody's wonderful to work with. And they hit their marks.
I'm glad it seems that way. No, I mean, honestly, we've been doing it there at Hershey for I think this will be 19 years or something like that already. And we've gotten it down pretty well, and everyone kind of knows what they're doing at this point. So that really helps. And yeah, we start Labor Day and finish up like that the Saturday before, and then they start putting their finishing touches on their displays. So yeah, it's quite the process.
Consumer attendance usually ballparks about what?
It's in so 2021 was like 60-some thousand, which it was like our second highest ever. So it's generally in the 50-some thousand range, which is what we'd like to see.
Okay. Do you have any information to pass along to the consumers who are considering attending? Anything new this year they should be aware of? I'm thinking ticket sales online, it would be one.
Yeah, ticket sales online, it's always cheaper to buy them in advance. So they're usually $2 cheaper if you buy them the day before you come. You kind of obviously still buy them the day of, and we do appreciate if you purchase them online. It makes the lines go very quickly. That has been one really, I mean, we were very hesitant at first when we were like, okay, we're all switching to online. How's this going to go? But I don't know, I honestly think, why didn't we do it sooner? Because we don't have big, long lines of people standing out there. It has gone very smoothly. So yeah, I would definitely recommend going online, getting your tickets. Our program it's not online yet, but it will be. But I always recommend to people, when they first get there, get the program and take a couple of minutes and map out where you want to go. Because if there's something that you definitely want to see, it's worth taking the time to plan it out, because if not, you could spend the whole day and then realize you never actually saw the units you were there to see. So I always just say, take a couple minutes, wear comfortable shoes.
I have one question additionally myself, and I'm not sure if there's anything there, but PRVCA as an organization, any updates there that we need to hear?
Well, I mean, in the past year, we did hire an education director, so that's worked out really well. We've got some new things coming for this year for our tech training. So that's kind of been our big emphasis. When we're not talking about the show, we were talking about education. I mean, and really the whole goal is to, when you get trained techs out there, you get happier customers. So that's kind of our main goal. And
So-
really, and all the people often ask, like, okay, so you have the show, and so what happens with that? I mean, we put that money back into the industry, and it goes. That's what funds our training and everything for the rest of the year. So we're not having big parties on the weekends at the office. We're we're putting it back into the industry.
Record, you got anything else on your end?
I think we can let Heather off the hook. Looking forward to seeing you out in the Hershey show once again. Appreciate all of that.
Oh yeah, well, we can't wait to see you.
We
All
will
right.
we will be there with the cameras, etc.
All right, sounds good. We
So
look
with
forward
that,
to it.
we'll thank RVCA one more time, and Heather, again, always a pleasure. We will see you shortly.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.